There you
Hello,
go.
my name
Hi.
is Bryce Tubbs. I know I always forget the zero. With me today is Annette Shaw, who helps professional women to value who they are after being bullied in the workplace, and focusing on one-to-one coaching. I'm extremely excited to be able to, share her story with you today and cannot wait for the ensuing conversation that we're going to have. Is there anything else you'd like me to add to the introduction, Annette?
No, that was a great introduction. Thank you.
Excellent. You know, Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time today. And thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
So what was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the catalyst that brings you into the field now?
Well, the catalyst was really that I myself experienced workplace bullying, and throughout my career, which is in the which was in administration. I was, administrator, senior secretary, personal assistant. I mean, most of the jobs I had were fine, but there were 2 or 3 jobs where it was really bad. And I think the last job, that was in 2012, 2013, where I was bullied, and which caused me to have a mental breakdown. I became very, very depressed. I was just, my self-esteem had hit rock bottom. And I turned my life around with the help of a local mental health charity here in Oxford, UK. But I also realized that there wasn't really any help out there that was that did specifically concentrate on workplace bullying. Yes, there is psychotherapy, there is counseling, but I actually wanted to specifically target women who were bullied in the workplace, because I also realized that it is a very, very common problem, too common. And that was the catalyst for me to make the decision to train as a life coach, with the aim of helping professional women who've been bullied in the workplace. Mm. However, that does not mean I'm turning men away if they seek my services. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some things that cause our self-esteem to be, lowered, but not just things that are overt? What are some, unknown or some small things that over time kind of erode that self-esteem?
Well, there's many factors that can actually sort of contribute to eroding self-esteem. I think if you are at the receiving end of constant criticism, like nothing you ever do is good enough, mm-hmm. You start to doubt yourself. You start to think, my God, am I in the right job? Have I made the right decision? Somehow, because it kind of is on your mind all the time. And I think it is this repeated action of controlling all the different things, micromanagement, breathing down your neck, and constant criticism that makes you feel I must be really rubbish at my job. And unfortunately, if they tell you this and you keep telling yourself these things enough times, you start to believe it. And I think you don't validate yourself internally. You don't say, hey, this is really unfair because I know what I'm good at. I know what I can do. I know what my capabilities are, because you suddenly feel, especially when you become really depressed, you lose your self-esteem. And I think it's this constant wearing away. And even if it's happened years ago and you think you've turned your life around, subconsciously you could still be running programs that pop up every now and again and tell you, you really can't do this, you're not good enough. And it is something that we have to make peace with. Now, obviously, this is not something that we can do our own. So I guess that's something where, you need help. It's something that needs to be explored. Quite often in life, you hit blocks and you think, why is this happening? Why am I hitting this brick wall? And it's only when you start to explore that you find out that you're still running programs. And I mean, it has come up for me as I've embarked on this journey of starting my own coaching practice, that there were things where I was afraid to be visible, and I had to make peace with them. And luckily I have, and I think it is really beginning to make a difference. So even I myself still come up against this, and well, it's a constant work in progress.
Mhm.
So, and yeah, it's this sort of constant telling yourself, and it's this, and what it is, this message gets repeated over and over and over again until you actually start to tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good, I'm rubbish at my job. And it's wrong. Yeah.
So what is the first step to really changing outside of, what's the first step to changing this?
Well, the first step to changing it is exploration, is trying to find out what is actually going on for that person. Find out how they are being bullied, because bullying comes in different guises, because it can be very open, it can also be very covert. Things like, excluding you from meetings, or when somebody is just, when you ask somebody a question, they just ignore you, or they withhold information from you that you require to do your job effectively. It's just this passive aggressive type of bullying. I don't know which. I mean, I think any form of bullying is terrible, but the passive aggressive is much more difficult to find out. I mean, you could go for a long time not realizing you're being bullied, but somebody for some reason has taken a dislike to you and has decided to make your work life really difficult. Yeah. But it is something that has to be explored through one-to-one coaching, and then I think it's just really a what's the word? I'm just looking for the right words. And then it's really a step-by-step approach, through this, find out, you go back to, what are you actually good, you know your job, you probably, has this happened to you before, and if not, how were you being recognized, and how did you feel about yourself. And inner validation or internal validation is something that, well, as women, is we haven't been taught that it's something is finding, finding the strength within you, and also finding the strength to actually then stand up to the bully and actually tell them, actually say to them, look, I don't accept how you treat me, and I don't have to stand for this. And the thing that we tend to do is when the bully approaches our workplace, we tend to cower. Yeah, it's really a matter of working up to building that confidence to actually stand up and make eye contact, because we tend to look away. We're sort of like, oh, we're trying to hide, but then they actually feed off that. And it's really a matter of not giving them the satisfaction to think, oh God, here he comes again, or she, or, I just want to cower, I just want to hide. Because you can't hide from them because they find you. That's the thing.
So just kind of switching gears and kind of winding down, what does the vision look like for you? Either 5 years, your life, however far down the road you want to go, what does your vision look like?
Well, my vision looks like I want to help. I want to help to contribute to a better world. I mean, there is so much. I mean, apart from in the workplaces, I mean, there's so much hate around at the moment. Problem with bullies is they have their own problems. Although they're not ready to admit it, I think they're hiding their insecurities behind that aggression. And it's they don't think they have a problem. And to be honest, it really is something that needs to be treated holistically. But I think also I think there needs to be a culture change within companies and organizations, because the victim is always the one that ends up leaving the job, leaving the employment, and the bully stays behind. Well, not in all cases, but I'd say 8 out of 10 times. And they also end up getting promoted. The thing is, because they're so manipulative, they fool most people. And I think it's I think if you need to look, I mean, companies need to look at bullies, whether they're whether they're managers, whether they're colleagues, because when people end up leaving workplaces, companies have high staff turnover, and that is usually very expensive. And if they see that it happens within a certain department more often than elsewhere in the company, they need to look at, why is this happening? What is the problem here? And somehow the problem needs to be addressed. And I think really at the moment my vision is to actually help these women to basically have the confidence to stand up to those bullies and say, I'm not taking this anymore. That is my vision, but that's only part of the problem. So really for its entirety, I think, I mean, people who do the bullying, I think They need to be taught early on, or they need to be given some help and support and find out, why is this happening to you? Why are you doing this? Why are you treating people like this? They may not necessarily know,
Mm.
or they may know and may just, really derive power from it and think, oh, this is great, they're doing whatever I want them. They are wax in my hand, but it's not the way to treat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. So, if someone,
yeah.
where can people go to learn more about you or to go to connect with you further?
My Facebook page, Annette Shaw, Unstoppable You Coaching. And you can also find me under Annette Shaw in LinkedIn.
Nice.
So that's where you find me. Okay?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate speaking with you and learning a little bit more about you.
Yep. Thank you.
Excellent.
It's my pleasure.
And for those watching at home, um, if you want to get around a community of people who are improving themselves and helping others do the same, people just like Annette, who, are trying to move their life forward and trying to help their people who come into contact with be benefited as well, I recommend you go and check out our community. There's going to be a link either above or below the video. Now, it's
Mhm.
basically a mastermind. People are coming together and supporting and uplifting each other every single day. So if that is what you're
Mhm.
searching for, again, come and join us inside of there. Now, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some great benefit as well. Have a great day, guys.
Mhm.
We're done recording in 3, and 2, and
Thank you. Mhm.